day. We'll get you set up for the week. We'll have an opportunity to interact, process questions, make sure you're feeling good about content, and then set you up for here are your activities, lectures, everything else you need for the rest of the week. You can choose to do them on Wednesday, but you don't have to. Your schedule is yours now to figure out how to complete these things for the rest of the week. Here are the due dates that kind of come with every week. So it's the best combination of some face-to-face time online and some independent work online. How did I do, other faculty who are also figuring this out?
You did really well. And one of the things I'm excited about with this is that the Mount figured this out. I'm so proud of our institution. We figured this out back in early June that this was the direction we were going to go. And so what that gave us time to do is, did you say something, Mike, to me? Oh, okay. Sorry. So we figured this out in June that this was going to be happening. So we were able then to very quickly put together a professional development plan. So all these faculty members you see here, all the faculty you interact with have been involved in professional development this summer to better learn how to utilize Zoom and all kinds of different technology. And then also to make sure that we were all highly aware that one of the most important things for our students is that you all know that we are here for you. That we might be working remotely, but that we are here for you and we want to see you and we want to hear what you have to say and all that kind of stuff. Campus is open, so you can still come to campus to access the internet, the library, just to hang out, all those types of things. The food will be open with all kinds of social distancing and mask wearing and things like that. And if you want to meet with any of us, you just let us know and we can set up a face-to-face meeting time. So we are here for you and we just want to make sure that you really, really are aware of that. So do you guys have any questions about that in-sync kind of thing or the versus online and what's going on campus? Okay, you guys are doing really well. So you don't have field experiences yet because you're all first-time freshmen, but second semester you will have service learning. I think briefly we just want to share with you what we're doing for our sophomores and juniors, just so you are aware that we have good plans in place in case this pandemic goes longer than I think most are expecting it to. We've been extremely proactive and work closely with school districts. So Harrison, can you just give them a little snippet of what we're doing to be able to support our students?
Certainly. And of course, I know many of you probably watched the news and heard the reports. I mean, some schools are doing this, other schools are doing that. Some schools are opening, some schools are delaying. So it's a real hodgepodge, as we call it, a big mixture of things going on. What we can tell you is this, is that when you have your field experiences, those are the points at which you apply the stuff you've learned in the classroom, right? So we want to set you up for success. Generally speaking, you're out in the field, in the school, from between 100 to 200 hours before you even student teach. So you've had lots of time to practice with students. So whether schools are face-to-face or they're online, right? We're going to make sure that you still have that ability to apply what you learned during that practice. So if you're student teaching, then that's a 15-week process for most people. Secondary education has a 12-week placement, right? And one of our faculty, Kara Dubé, is the placement coordinator. So she will be the one that you'll interface with a lot in terms of getting yourself settled for your placements. Do any of you have any practicum the second semester if you're in dual licensure?
I actually have one this semester. I have a service learning this semester.
So is it a service learning?
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of service learning, I'm not sure where they've landed of what they're going to do. I know that for us in the School of Education, what we're going to do is for our undergraduate placements, and I don't know if this pertains to service learning or not, and maybe Ms. Shabinsky can speak to that. But in terms of our placements, we're going to recommend for this particular semester that everything be done with an alternate assignment instead of actually going in and being face-to-face with students, because it's very risky, right? I mean, your health is important to us. the mentor teacher's health, the kids' health, right? So we'll make sure through a set of really carefully selected and crafted units and lessons that we are able to figure out if you've got the right stuff for teaching, right? Is that you've mastered the content and the skills. So don't ever let that be in doubt. And there are so many other universities that are in the same boat. As a matter of fact, we were in a call on Wednesday with UC, and, Miami, and Xavier. We're all trying to figure this out together. What's the best way? So for the time being, our undergraduate practicum students would have alternate assessments, alternate assignments, actually, to figure out whether you've mastered those, right? The student teachers are at the end of their program, so they're going to be probably going into the school. Now, when I say into the school, that might be that they're just going to teach virtually, right? Because some schools aren't going to open right away. So whatever's thrown at them, it's definitely a learning curve for everybody. But I'm going to tell you this. This pandemic has just thrown everyone for a loop. You're going to be able to say with grandkids later on in your careers, well, I remember I was in school during the pandemic, and oh my goodness, and all the stuff. I mean, teachers are known to be resilient, right? And so this is a special case. For an example, I'm going to point out with Dr. Saylor's issues just now with tech, you know that's going to happen during this entire semester. What she was doing was modeling. Notice she never stopped staying in touch, right? She kept doing that. So we're going to make sure we're constantly in touch with you during all of your field experiences and your placements. You know, if it's a strong feeling that you really need to be in with children, to the best extent you can always appeal that decision, but we're really trying to think of your health and your safety on that.
And Harrison, I'm going to add that the number one thing I want these ladies to know, and the people who view this video, is that last year when all this went down, it was rumored that our institution made plans and adjustments for our people in the field in a meaningful and really more rapid way than any other. And that's one of the benefits of being in a small school, because we can react. We're smaller. It's easier to turn a ship when it's a small ship. So we were very able to very quickly figure out the problem, figure out the solution, and get our students through the program successfully and through their coursework and their practicums and their fieldwork successfully. So I just want you to have that ease of mind that in these uncertain times, we're going to take good care of you. And as soon as the state tells us something, we're right on it, adjusting. As for service learning, Cindy, did you want to talk about that a little bit, or do you have the information?
I did.
Me too. Oh, you
Yes.
did?
We've been having weekly meetings in regard to service learning with Keith Lancer, who's in charge of the service learning component. And we've been working with actually the PTA and some staff members at Cheviot Elementary, and we're setting up a virtual tutoring program there. There's also a virtual tutoring program set up at Euler and at Guiding Light. So you'll have those opportunities, we know for sure, which is going to be great because we still have students actually from last semester who weren't able to complete their requirements. So they're going to have that opportunity as well. So if it looks like Emma's the only one that's going to be in service learning for this semester coming up. So what will happen is we will have, the first day we go over the service learning requirements as part of my SED 215 Human Exceptionalities course. And Keith will give you all that information and very detailed information about what needs to be completed. We will also still have our community partners Zoom in with us and let you know your options so that you can pick which is the best fit for you. And then we also will have some training through the Literacy Network, and that will be via Zoom as well. So those things are already set up and established, and so we are ready to go when school starts. And for Abby and Bella, you'll be possibly taking that spring semester, and so we'll even be more organized by then. So it should be a good way to go.
Thank you, Cindy. The other thing before we move on, is there any questions around service learning, field work, anything like that from any of the three of you? You guys are awesome. Okay, it's a sign of good things. But here's the next thing we want to talk a little bit about is our faculty, just so you know who we are. I did a quick tally when when Cindy was sharing her information, and of the 6 people on faculty that are on this call, we have 150 years of experience in the field. And that is not, 25 years each. And that's pretty close to the average for our department. So a lot of schools of education and other universities have people who have the advanced degrees and all that, but not had a significant amount of time in the classroom. And one of the things at the Mount we have said as a school is very important to us is that anyone we hire has had a good, significant career in education, has experience to draw upon. Because as future teachers, if I only had 2 years of teaching experience and then went and got my doctorate and then was teaching how to teach, I could only draw on 2 years experience to share with you, where people who've spent a more significant time in the field have developed a long practice, have a lot of experience, a lot of stories, know how hard the field can be, but know how joyful it can be as well. So we're going to share with you all of those beautiful stories about when the day went perfect and everything went according to the plan. But more than that, we're probably going to share with you the days when it didn't go to the plan, because it rarely does, right? They're kids. So whether they're high school students, or they're younger children, even the school environment itself, curveballs are coming at you all the time. So in a way, the pandemic, as much as it's been hard for teachers, it's part of what we do. So I think that's really helped our department to move with the changing times. And you're going to hear a lot of great stories that we hope you learn from as you move along. These people really care. I'm gonna make them blush now. They will go above and beyond to make sure students' needs are met. They want to be there for you. So we were talking about what to do about office hours, because we don't have office hours this semester. And what I heard back from people was, I just want to be able to respond quickly to whatever students need. So whether that's some professors are going to want to share their cell phone or their text messaging, some will use email, whatever the case, they're going to be highly responsive to you and want to help you through things. One thing we don't want any of you to ever do is suffer in silence. It's just not allowed at the Mount, right? So if you're having an issue, if you're having a question, if you're having a concern, yeah, if you want to tool around a little bit and see if you can figure it out on your own for a couple minutes, that's fine. But we don't want you to feel alone in that process. So as soon as you start to get to the point like, I can't find it, just send us an email or a text, whoever the appropriate person is. You can always send something to me and I'll farm it out as appropriate if you're not sure where to go. But we want to make sure you're taken care of. That's really important to us. You're also going to have some great advisors. We have big advising loads in our school, and in a lot of universities, faculty don't do advising. But for us, it's important as we get to know you to know exactly what your plan is, how you're going to complete this program in the time that you want to complete it, and to get out there and get working as a teacher. But our advising goes beyond that. Our professors often have students in their offices. Their doors are open and they want to be with them. And during a pandemic, that's going to be tricky because we're used to having students just all pile into the School of Education, right? But we are going to be very available to you via the Zoom, via the FaceTime. If you use FaceTime, you can come in. You have to make an appointment, or if you don't make an appointment, you just call. There's a number on the front door of our school you call and we can let you in. But that's not going to change. Even though we can't be face-to-face right now, the way that we want to be there to support you and guide you through your program and towards your career is not going to change. That will stay the same. Faculty, what did I miss? What else do you want to say there if I didn't embarrass you too much? This is I was going to say it's the quietest I've ever seen them, but go ahead.
I was just going to say